Hello everyone, welcome to Progressive Learners. So in today's session we are starting with a maths chapter. We'll be starting with the maths chapter number 2 for standard 9, that is algebra. So the name of the chapter is real numbers. So let's get started. Before we start, we need to know a few things. First, n is equal to, or n is nothing but a set of natural numbers. Now, what are these natural numbers? Natural numbers are going to be from 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. Continue. Okay. Then we need to know what is W. Capital W is nothing but a set of whole numbers. Whole numbers start from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and then you continue. So we see that in natural numbers you have the number 1, whereas in whole numbers you have the number 0 also, which gets included. When we have I, it is nothing but the set of integers. Now when we talk about integers, children, you all are familiar that on the number line you have positive numbers on the right hand side and negative numbers on the left hand side. So this is a set of all negative numbers, 0 as well as positive numbers. Then we start with the next one, that is Q. Q is nothing but a set of all rational numbers. Now what are rational numbers, children? Rational numbers are generally expressed in the form P upon Q, where P can be any integer, Q can be any integer, but Q should never be equal to 0. Why it should never be equal to 0? Because then the answer becomes equal to infinity, because you cannot divide any number by the number 0. Okay. So that is why the denominator, that is Q, should never be equal to 0. So P and Q both can be integers, but you need to remember Q is never equal to 0. And the next one is going to be R, that you need to remember, and this is quite relatable. It is a set of real numbers. Now what are real numbers? The set of all rational as well as irrational numbers is going to be real numbers. Okay. So this was a brief introduction to the chapter of real numbers. We move ahead with the sums. When the sums are to be included, we'll be starting with the first type of sums that they ask in this chapter. The first thing that the students need to understand is the decimal form of a number. Okay. Now what is meant by the decimal form of a number, children? Whenever we say decimal form of a number, say I have the number 2 divided by 5. Okay. 5 ones are 5, how much are? So you have 0 and then 4. So now this is called as the decimal form of 2 upon 5. So therefore, if you have to find out the decimal form, you need to divide the number and then write down the decimal form. This is how you get the decimal form. Now you see that this decimal form has ended in one number after the decimal place. So this type of decimal numbers are called as terminating. These are terminating decimal numbers. So I hope you remember this. These are terminating decimal numbers. So if you have terminating, you are obviously going to have non-terminating also. So I'll give you one more example. So if I have 17 upon 36 children. So 17 upon 36, if I go to write it down, it is 0.47222 and this 22 is going to continue. So I can also write it as 0.472 and on the top I give a dot. Now this explains that 2 is going to be repeated over and over again. Such type of numbers are called as non-terminating. terminating decimal numbers. So you have two types of decimal numbers, children. You have terminating, okay, need to remember there are terminating as well as non-terminating decimal numbers. Now we need to understand one more thing, that is whenever you have a single digit that is getting terminating, you use only a small dot on the number which is getting repeated again and again. But when we have other numbers, say for example I had 0.47353535 and this was going on continuously. So now this number is written as 0.4735 bar, which means that this number 35 is going to be recurring again and again. Similarly, if I have 0.47395395, okay, if we have numbers where there are three things, okay, three digits, see they are in sets of three which are repeating, then such numbers are written as 0.47395 and then you give them a bar. This was only for the bar, was there only for two numbers or two digits over here. Now the digits are 3. So this is how we write down the terminating decimal numbers. So now let's continue, let's move ahead. Now we start with our exercise. So we have exercise number 2.1 that we are going to start with. Okay, so this is nothing but your practice set 2.1. Now in this practice set 2.1 you have three main questions. So main question number 1 is to classify if the number is, or the decimal form of the rational number will be terminating or non-terminating. So this is your question. You have to classify if the digits or the rational number is going to be terminating or non-terminating. Now how do you do that? Come on, I'll give it to you by the examples itself. See, there is one thing that you need to remember when it comes to these type of questions. The first point being that if you have, okay, if you have factors of 2, if you have, I'll write it down nicely so that it's understood. If you have factors of 2 and factors of 5 in the denominator, okay, in the denominator, then the fraction is of terminating type. So this is a shortcut, children. You only need to look at the denominator. Once you see the denominator, if you find that in the denominator you have factors, or the denominator is made up of factors of 2 or factors of 5, you can quickly write down that this is going to be a terminating fraction. Okay, so let's take down the example. The first example is given as 13 upon 5. Now if you look at 13 upon 5, you see that what is there in the last place, children? It's 5. Oh, sorry, what is there in the denominator, children? It's 5. So if I have written that this is a factor of 5, so obviously this is going to be a terminating fraction. Okay, this is going to be a terminating decimal number. If you want to still check, you can check over here. I can write it down as 5 divided by 13. Now you see 5 2s are 10. You get 3 decimal point over here, 30. So this is 30. So now 5 6 are 30. So you see the answer over here is 2.6. So if I have 2.6 as the answer, then obviously it is going to be a terminating decimal number. Okay. Now let's move to the second one. The second one says 2 divided by 11. So if I have 2 divided by 11 children, just try to see if it fits the rule. Does this fit the rule over here? I don't think so it is fitting, because the 11 is neither having a factor of 2 nor it has a factor of 5. Okay, so this is going to be non-terminating. Okay, this is a non-terminating one. Question number 3 gives you 29 by 16. 29 by 16. If you see the number 16, factorize 16. If you factorize 16, 2 8s are, 2 4s are, 2 2s are, 2 1s are. All the factors are made up of 2. So obviously this is going to be a terminating fraction. Next, question number 4. Let's see, question number 4 says 17 upon 125. So now you have 125 over here. Let's find out the factors for 125. I know you all know it, but still for simplicity, let's do it over here once again. 125. So 5, hamaza, 2za, get 2 carried over here, 5. Now 5, 5za, 5, 1za. All the factors you see are made up of 5, and hence this is a terminating number. Okay. Now, if you look at the next one, the last sum, the fifth sum. The fifth sum says it is 11 by 6. Let's find the factors of 6. 2 3s are and 3 1s are. See, you have one more number, that is 3, which comes over here. And because these are not only factors of 2, not only factors of 5, hence we are going to classify this as non-terminating. So I hope this is understood, children. Okay, always keep in mind, if you have factors of the number 2 and factors of the number 5, then you are always going to have the fraction to be terminating. Okay, the decimal form will always be terminating. Let's move ahead. Now in practice set 2, you have question number 2. In question number 2, you have to write down the numbers in their decimal form. So you need to write down these numbers in their decimal form. Let's look at sum number 1. You have 127 by 200. Don't go by the donkey's way, that is, don't go and sit and divide this number, like don't do this 127, don't do this. This is going to occupy, or this is going to take a lot of time. Instead, what you can do is you can just simplify this sum. Okay, how do you simplify this sum? This sum can also be written as 127 upon 100 multiplied by 2. And you all have already studied that we can convert this sum this easily into a decimal thing. Why? Because you have 2 zeros over here. So now just shift 2 decimal places here. So I get the answer as 1.27 multiplied by 1.2. Now divide 2 1s are, 2 zeros are, 2 6s are, 2 3s are 6, and 2 5s are 10. So your answer is 0.635. For those children who didn't understand this division over here, I'm doing it again for you. See, if I write it 2 over here and 1.27, okay, if I write it like that. Now this is 0, the 0, okay. Now 1 gets carried, decimal point comes on the top. I have 2 over here. Now 2 6s are 12, right? So now 7 comes down, 2 3s are 6. 1 remains, and as it is after the decimal point, so 5. That is why my answer is going to be 0.635. So I hope you have understood this sum. Let's move ahead. This was a rough work column, so I'll just erase out this rough work so that we have place to write down the remaining sums. Okay, sum number 2. Let's look at sum number 2. You have the question as 25 by 99. My dear children, whenever you have 99, 9 or triple 9 or 4 times 9 in your denominator, always understand that this is a type of decimal fraction. Okay, and this decimal fraction can be written in the form of, see, if it is 25 by 99, it has to be written as 0.25 bar. Why 25 bar? It is because it is 99, it is always in the recurring form. So this is one short trick that you need to know. With this, you don't need to just think or just do any division out there. You simply write down this. Okay, I'll give you an example. Say suppose I have 33 upon 99. So how do I write this? I write it as 0.33 bar. Say I have 108 upon 999. So I write this as 0.108 bar. If I have 2 upon 9, then I write it as 0.2 recurring. Okay, so this is quite simple, children. If you have 9 or any numbers of 9, so you understand that it is going to be a recurring decimal fraction. Okay. Okay, let's start with sum number 3. Now in sum number 3, you have the question as 23 by 7. Now let's check how we do it for 23 by 7. 23 by 7, let's write down this in the rough work column. 7 divided by 23. So you have 7 3s are 21. Okay, you have 2 over here. Now 20. So 7 2s are 14. So 6. So 7 8s are 56. Now you have 40. So 7 5s are 35. Then you have again 50 that remains over here. This is going to be 7 7s are 49. So 1 over here, so this becomes 10. So 7 1s are 7. Now you have 3, so this becomes 30. So 7 4s are 28. Now again 20. So again 2s are. Now just pay attention, children. 2s are. You have 14. So again you'll get 60. So now you see that this thing is again going to get repeated. Means what? This entire slot of numbers is going to be repeated afterwards again. So this is a recurring number. So the answer is 3.285714 recurring. So I hope this is understood. Okay, sum number 4. Let's see what is our sum number 4 now. In sum number 4, they have given you write 4 by 5 in its decimal form. Very easy, children. I can do it directly, but I'll just show it to you. 4 divided by 5, zeros are 0. So you get 4 decimal 0, 8. So what's your answer? 0.8. So this was a very easy sum, children. Okay, where it is, the answer is 0.8 and it is a terminating decimal fraction. Now, sum number 5. I'll just put a partition over here. Okay, sum number 5. Now, sum number 5 is 17 divided by 8. Let's try this sum out. You have 8 here, you have 17 here. So, 8 2s are 16. You have 1.0. 8 1s are 8. You have 20 that is going to remain. So, you have 8 2s are 16. 40 and here 8 5s are 8 5s are is going to be 40. So your answer over here is again a terminating number. Sorry, it is 2.125. So this is your answer over here. I hope this is understood. Let's move to question number 3. Question number 3. You are supposed to write down the numbers in P by Q form. Okay, so means they have given you the numbers in the decimal form. The first sum is 0.6 recurring. So now how do you write this? Okay, now what are the steps over here? Very interesting sum. Let's look. Okay, we assume x to be 0.6 decimal, that is it is going to be 0.666. okay, the same. Okay, it is going to be recurring. So therefore now I have only one digit that is recurring, so I'll multiply this by 10. So 10x is going to be equal to 6.6666. That is, it is going to be 6.6 recurring. This is going to be the answer over here. Now I'm going to subtract x from this. Okay, so if I subtract, then I have 10x minus x is equals to 6.6 recurring minus 0.6 recurring. Okay, so now 10x minus x, you need to assume 1 over here, it's there. So this is 9x, which is equals to, always you need to understand, 0.66 is going to get cancelled over here. I'll just show it to you for this sum, minus 0.6. This both are going to get cancelled out. What answer remains is going to be 6. So this answer is going to be 6. Therefore, x is equal to 6 by 9. 3 2s are 3 3s are, which is equals to 2 by 3. Therefore, your final answer x is equals to 2 by 3. Means you can write down that 0.6 recurring is equals to 2 upon 3. So I hope this is understood, children. Yes, any doubt over here? Let's move ahead. We'll move with the next sum. The next sum number 2. The sum number 2 says 0.37 bar. Okay. Now let's try out this sum. First, let x is equals to 0.37 bar. That is, this is equals to 0.373737. I'm not going to write this now every time. So therefore, now how many numbers are getting repeated over here? How many are recurring digits? 2. So now you multiply this number by 100. So 100x is going to be equal to 37.37 bar. So what will you write? You will write 100x minus x. Now 100x minus x is equals to 37.37 bar. And what is x? X is 0.37 bar. So as I had taught you all, 37.37 bar minus 0.37 bar. What is going to happen? This gets cancelled. So what remains over here is going to be 37. So 100 minus x gives you 99x is equals to 37. Therefore, x is equals to 37 by 99. So therefore, you can write 0.37 bar is equals to 37 by 99. You remember, children, I had just taught you all in the previous question that whenever you see 99, you assume that you understand that these two are going to be recurring. So see, it is proved over here. Okay, let's move on to the next sum. Sum number 3. Now in sum number 3, you have 3.17 bar. Okay, now let's look how to solve this sum. First, let assume x as 3.17 bar. So whatever is given as the question, you are going to assume it as x. So this is the meaning of 17 bar. 171717. Now therefore, how many numbers are getting repeated here? 2. So multiply by 100. 100x is equals to 317.17 bar. Now for those children who did not understand what we did, see, I multiplied by 100. So if I multiply by 100, I'm going to shift 2 decimal places. So 1, 2. So my decimal place comes and sits over here, the new one. So what is this number? This number becomes 317, and then I have 1717 when the gets continued. So therefore now what do I do? 100x minus x is equals to 317.17 bar minus 3.17 bar. Now let's do this over here. 317.17 bar minus 3.17 bar. As usual, these both are getting cancelled out. 7 minus 3 gives you 4, 1, 3. So what is your answer, dear children, here? 99x is equals to 314. Therefore, x is equals to 314 upon 99. Therefore, you can write down 317 bar is equals to, okay, is equals to 314 divided by 99. So this was your answer. Let's move ahead. Question number 4. Question number 4 says 15.89 bar. So let's convert this. So first assume let x is equals to 15.89 bar. So this is nothing but 15.898989 and so on. Continue. So now how many digits are here, children? 2 digits. So by what are you going to multiply? Obviously you're going to multiply by 100. So therefore if I multiply this by 100, now see, decimal place was originally here. So now it is shifting 1, 2. So now what number should I get over here? 1589.89 bar. Now I minus it, therefore 100x minus x is equals to 1589.89 bar minus 15.89 bar. So let's do it over here. 1589.89 bar minus 15.89 bar. So 8989 gets cancelled. Here 9 minus 5 gives you 4. 8 minus 1 gives you 7. This gives you 1, 5. So what's your answer here? 99x is equals to 1574. So therefore x is equals to 1574 by 99. So therefore you can write down 15.89 bar is equals to 1574 divided by 99. So I hope this is understood. This was a simple sum, and then let's move ahead. Let's start with the last sum. The fifth sum says 2.514 bar. Here you need to first assume, so let x is equals to 2.514 bar. Now children, how many digits over here? 1, 2 and 3. So by what are you going to multiply? 3 zeros, that is 1000. So therefore 1000x is equals to how much? See, I'll just make it easy for you. 514, 514, 514. Now see, I have 3 places to shift. So 1, 2 and 3. So my new decimal should come and rest here. So I get 2514.514 bar. I hope this is understood. Now let's subtract, therefore 1000x minus x is equals to 2514.514 bar minus 2.514 bar. Now I write it down in the rougher column. 2514.514 bar minus 2.514 bar. This gets cancelled. Now let's do 4 minus 2 gives you 2, 152. So what's my answer over here? It's 999x is equals to 2512. Therefore x is equals to 2512 divided by. So therefore I can write it down as 2.514 bar is equals to 2512 divided by 999. So I hope this is understood, children. So this was all. Okay, we have finished with the problem set or the practice set, that is practice set 2.1. So thank you for coming, children, and if you all have any queries, okay, if you all want to join us, you can contact us on 965 333 4955. This is our WhatsApp number. Okay, so you can just contact on this number. So this is our WhatsApp number. You can just contact on this number, or you can just write down on our page at Progressive learners. So till that time, keep studying, keep practicing. So bye bye and have a nice day. Thank you, children.